There was a study conducted at the University of Calgary where researchers followed a group of college students throughout an entire semester. These students were given a major assignment at the very beginning of the semester, weeks before it was actually due. And what the researchers found was shocking. Despite having all of that time, the vast majority of students waited until the very last moment to even begin. And the reason wasn't laziness. It wasn't that they didn't care about their grades. When the researchers dug deeper, they found something fascinating. The students weren't avoiding the assignment because it was hard. They were avoiding the feeling of starting it. And here's the thing. If you've ever sat down to work on something important and suddenly found yourself cleaning your room, checking your phone, or doing literally anything else, you already know exactly what those students were experiencing. That feeling right before you start a task, that invisible wall of resistance, that's not a personal failure. That's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. And once you understand why it happens, there's a dead simple rule you can use to destroy it every single time. It's called the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule was popularized by productivity consultant David Allen in his widely studied work on personal organization and task management. The concept is straightforward. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you do it immediately. No scheduling it, no adding it to a list, you just do it right now. But the deeper and far more powerful application of this rule goes beyond just short tasks, and that's what most people completely miss. See, the real reason procrastination exists comes down to something psychologists call activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required to start a reaction. Your brain operates the exact same way. Every task you need to do requires a certain amount of mental activation energy before your brain is willing to commit to it. And the bigger the task feels in your mind, the more activation energy your brain demands before it will let you begin. This is why staring at a blank page feels harder than actually writing. This is why putting on your gym shoes feels harder than the workout itself. Your brain isn't afraid of the task, it's afraid of the startup cost.
The 2-minute rule solves this by making the startup cost nearly zero. When I was building my own daily writing habit, I struggled constantly with sitting down and getting started. Some days I would spend 40 minutes doing everything except writing. So I made myself one simple promise. I only had to write for 2 minutes. That was it. 2 minutes, and I could stop if I wanted to. And what happened almost every single time was that once I started, I kept going. Because the hardest part was never the writing. It was always the starting. This is backed up by research. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that simply beginning a task, even in a very small way, dramatically increases your likelihood of completing it. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik Effect. Your brain naturally wants to finish things it has already started. Once you cross that activation energy threshold and begin, your mind actually becomes uncomfortable leaving the task incomplete. The momentum builds on its own. So here is exactly how you apply this in your daily life. Anytime you feel that wall of resistance rising up before a task, you make yourself one promise: just 2 minutes. Tell yourself you only have to work on your assignment for 2 minutes. Tell yourself you only have to be at the gym for 2 minutes. Tell yourself you only have to send one email. You are not trying to finish anything. You are only trying to start. And once you start, your brain takes over and the resistance disappears almost completely. The key is to take that 2-minute commitment seriously. Don't negotiate with yourself. Don't say you'll do it later. The moment you feel resistance is the exact moment you start the 2-minute clock. Because that resistance you feel, that's not a signal to stop. That's a signal that your brain is about to lose the battle if you just take one small step forward. Procrastination was never about being lazy. It was never about lacking discipline or willpower. It was always about activation energy. And the 2-minute rule gives you a way to lower that energy requirement so far down that your brain has no logical reason left to resist. 2 minutes is all it takes to go from stuck to moving. And once you're moving, almost nothing can stop you.